Hello, welcome back to Thrive in Your Mission. Excited to be back with my partner in shine, I'll call her, Elvira Hopper, and I love to come and record these live streams with you and go live here on LinkedIn and Facebook. And we want to talk about just what it's like to be a mission driven entrepreneur. Both of us are mission led entrepreneurs, and we lead a group of powerful mission led entrepreneurs in our collective community. And so we know exactly what it's like to go through the growing pains of building your mission, launching it, and watching it thrive, right? So today's topic is really about waiting to feel ready. How many of you have felt like, oh, I just need to wait to take the action because I don't feel ready yet. I don't feel confident enough yet. Maybe you feel like a little bit imposter syndrome. Even though you're an expert and you've had years and years of experience, you still feel a little green when it comes to being an entrepreneur. I know I have felt that way. I worked for 15 years in corporate as a fashion designer in the fashion industry here in New York City. And when I started my business, I felt like inexperienced all of a sudden. Like that went out the window. And I was like, no, I don't know what I'm doing, even though I had years and years of experience. And in fact, started my second business as a service based entrepreneur. So I did have experience. But I second guessed myself because it felt new and I felt like, I'm doing it alone and I didn't know who to ask for support. And so it did feel like I needed to wait until I felt ready to take the actions, right? And today we really want to dive into this more because we know it is holding you back from your mission being truly like alive and blossoming and growing and thriving. So, yeah, Elvira, do you want to chime in what I'm saying? I see you shaking your head.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, thank you. This is such an important conversation, Tavia. I'm so glad we're having it. Yeah, so I think that the biggest thing that heart-centered, mission-led entrepreneurs deal with, I feel, is that sense of am I good enough to do this? Am I able to truly make the difference that I was brought here to make, right? So we're always in like mode and um like they're always in that state of not good enough and is my website right and my are my business cards right and like they're always questioning themselves, right?
Yes.
Like yeah, this was me for a while as well. So I know that our mission is bigger than us, and we have to become those people that get out of our own effing way. Fear and ego. That's what keeps us either small and stuck or too big for our britches. Either one is not going to. We need to get into a zone. I call it miracle magnet zone, where you are being led. You are being led by a power that uses you for your mission. And I feel when we have that distinction that we're not doing this alone, that we are led by a power that wants us to do this, well, it's easier to get out of our own effing way and do it. For me was a big shift, is knowing that this mission isn't about me. It is about serving the world. And I will do what I need to do, even though I'm afraid of rejection. I'm afraid of judgment. This was me more in the past. Today, it's like, oh, whatever. But,
Mm.
you know, depending on but the fact is that it's normal to hearing, it's normal to feel judgment. That's why people procrastinate. That's why people are always waiting to launch and they never really take off and do their thing. But what I've discovered is that lately, you and I and the collective, this beautiful community that we're blessed to lead, is you need to have the right people around you. You need to simply have the sources that see you. you know, even if you're imperfect and messy and, you know, and all of those things, they see you as, you know, this divine being that's here for a purpose that's bigger than you, right? Like everyone in the collective are amazing beings and we see them, right? And they're taking inspired action forward and forward and forward, and they're getting amazing results, right? Like, you know,
Mm.
I just want to point out Janicki. We're going to be interviewing her soon. Like, you know, she is just flying because it's like she has permission to do the thing real, not perfect. That was a big shift for her. And so, you know, when she joined us, I just noticed her really take off, right? And it's not like this is the only thing she's doing. Like she's part of a Lokes community as well, and I'm sure she does other things. But somehow there's something special about this community that holds you as you step up and do your thing, you know, even if it's not perfect, even if you're a little scared doing it. Like we support you. It's not just me and you, it's the whole community, right? So if you're, you know, if you're waiting to feel then you get inspired. Big you know, sales pitch for our community, and maybe it is, but I really believe in this community. You can't do it by yourself. It's easy to get stuck if you're doing it by yourself. So this community is fabulous. I also lead another incredible community that help people with their inner work. So the inner work is important, right? Like, how do you get out of your own way and in your ego is realizing that you don't have to be a crap magnet, you know, attracting things you don't want in life. You can be a miracle magnet. So that shift is massive as well. So I'm so privileged and blessed to be part of these two communities, to actually be leading them. And you know, and it's fun. It is so much fun. So that is how, like, I need these communities as much members, right? We're constantly needing to remember who we are and she's bigger than us. And so yeah, I'll just stop there. But those are some of my thoughts. What do you think, Tavia?
No, definitely. I think, you know, especially if you're someone who, you know, has expertise in another area, maybe you went to school for something specific, right? And you were starting out, you know, with a regular job or 9 to 5 or a corporate job, like the both of us. And then you get this calling that you're meant to lead a mission, a movement, something deep inside of you says, I have to do this, right? But you're used to working a 9 to 5. And it's such a different thing than starting a business or becoming an entrepreneur and becoming self led than working in a company where you're like a servant in some way, right? For somebody else's mission, idea, business, right? You're working for somebody else versus creating your own mission led uh, business, right? And it's such a dichotomy that I think a lot of people struggle with that. And, you know, I know because I did. And this is where community really can help support that because it's hard to do it on your own. It's so challenging. You're going to come up with so many things, so many obstacles, and this is an obstacle. Waiting to feel ready is a cost, and it's costing you and the people that you're supposed to impact
Yeah,
by not being able to show up and serve because you're in your own head, you're in your own way, waiting to feel ready. That's the ego. And maybe you don't realize it. That's why we're speaking about it today because we know, we see it all the time. That's why the members in our collective community, we help them shift that so they don't have to wait anymore. They can just execute. They can just take messy action. They can just go soar and we're there to support them if things backfire or things don't go as planned. You know, we don't make it wrong, right? We're like, you know what, you tried, good for you. Like, but when you're doing it alone, you don't have that support, it's 10 times harder to do this, right? So that's why we're sharing this today.
yeah,
And I know
yeah,
that
yeah,
if you're still listening to this may be where you're at, right? And if that's the case, please reach out to us. You know, we are still welcoming members into our collective
yeah.
community So we would love to hear from you. And if it feels like you need something like this, you need some kind of support in this way, uh, we welcome you with open arms. There is an application process, so you do have to apply to be a part of the community, as we want to make sure that it's the right fit for you and for our current members as well. And, that's all I could say. Just reach out to us, Elvira or myself, and we will get it started so we can figure out if you're the right fit and if it's a good fit for you. So, well, I think we're going to wrap it here today. Elvira, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah.
All right.
No, no, I think this was a short but important conversation to let people realize that, if they are, not feeling ready, just join a community where you can accelerate, right? This is the collective is a community to fuel your legacy chapter. So you just need that fuel, that support from a community so you can take off, right? Your mission is bigger than you. I mission is bigger than you. Who do you have to become so that that mission gets to flow through you? And so we're an amazing community. We're a business incubator. We're a business accelerator. We're this beautiful community where you get to thrive in your mission. The people are gorgeous, and yeah. So apply, see if you're a good fit, and yeah, just reach out to either one of us. So thank you.
Yes. All right. Well, that's it. We're going to wrap today. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye.